McLaren's stunning pace may have finally met its match, not on the racetrack, but in the FIA's rulebook. In the wake of the 2025 Imola Grand Prix, Formula One's governing body has come down hard with a new technical directive that sent shockwaves through the paddock and landed McLaren squarely in the firing line. What was once seen as a sudden dip in performance has now been linked to a deeper controversy. The FIA's latest regulatory tweak, quietly rolled out before the race, has fans and insiders speculating whether McLaren's pace was artificially curbed. Was their recent slump in Imola simply a coincidence, or did the FIA's rule change expose something far more illegal lurking beneath the papaya paint? The timing couldn't be more suspicious. Max Verstappen's emphatic return to dominance in Italy didn't just tilt the championship narrative, it lit a fuse under ongoing debates around car legality and technical loopholes. Now, with fresh accusations flying and McLaren's aerodynamic edge seemingly blunted overnight, the spotlight is back on the steward's box. Has the FIA just caught McLaren red-handed? As the dust begins to settle after a dramatic race weekend, all eyes are now on two critical technical directives quietly introduced by the FIA just before the Imola Grand Prix. Directives that many suspect may have unintentionally or perhaps intentionally compromised McLaren's performance. The contrast in form was impossible to ignore. McLaren, fresh off a dominant run in previous races, arrived in Imola as clear favourites. Yet come race day, they appeared a shadow of their former selves, struggling to keep up with a Red Bull outfit they had recently outclassed. In the days leading up to the Imola Grand Prix, Formula One's governing body quietly rolled out two new technical directives, routine on paper but potentially game-changing in practice. In a sport where innovation constantly flirts with the boundaries of legality, these mid-season updates hinted at something more targeted than typical regulatory management. The first directive zeroed in on a subtle yet vital component, the underfloor panel, specifically the skid block or plank that runs along the underside of the car. While the concept might sound mundane, the implications were anything but. The FIA clarified not only the exact material that must be used, but also how the plank should be mounted to the chassis, effectively eliminating any wiggle room that may have allowed teams to gain marginal but crucial performance advantages. Although no team was explicitly named, the timing and precision of the directive suggested the FIA had noticed something suspicious. If teams had been creatively interpreting the rules through unique fitting techniques or experimental composite blends, those tactics were now off the table. Red Bull, notably, had raised early season concerns about car legality, complaints that many dismissed as political noise. But the FIA's swift action implies those warnings might have hit closer to the truth than expected. The second technical directive, while more subtle in tone, carried even greater intrigue. Rather than laying down a new rule, it made public a written exchange between Red Bull and the FIA concerning tyre temperature management, a domain where even minor advantages can drastically swing race outcomes. Red Bull had questioned the legality of using specific tyre cooling agents, particularly water-based systems, under current regulations. The FIA's reply was firm and unequivocal: water-based cooling methods are not allowed. By formalising this private exchange into an official directive circulated to all teams, the FIA wasn't merely clarifying a rule, it was sending a pointed reminder of the limits in a performance-critical grey area. That's where McLaren enters the spotlight. Whispers around the paddock hint that the British outfit may have been leveraging a clever and so far unchallenged method to optimise tyre temperatures more effectively than the competition. Though the exact details of McLaren's system remain under wraps, speculation has swirled around the potential use of water, either to precondition tyres before a stint or to manage thermal build-up during laps. Now, with the FIA slamming the door shut on water-based systems, many in the sport believe McLaren's secret sauce may have just been outlawed. If true, the sudden timing of the directive, followed by McLaren's sharp performance dip at Imola, starts to feel less like a racing anomaly and more like regulatory fallout in real time. McLaren, unsurprisingly, moved swiftly to dismiss any claims that their dip in form at Imola was triggered by FIA interference. Throughout the weekend, team representatives pointed to more conventional causes: track-specific challenges, difficulties in tyre warm-up, and a general lack of grip through crucial corners. All reasonable explanations on the surface, but in the high-stakes world of Formula One, not everyone is buying it. Red Bull's engineering camp remains deeply skeptical. Behind closed doors, the reigning champions reportedly see the timing of McLaren's drop-off and the FIA's twin technical directives as far more than coincidence. In their view, the directive concerning tyre cooling wasn't just regulatory housekeeping, it was a surgical strike on a competitive edge McLaren McLaren had quietly carved out. Red Bull insiders are convinced that the rules weren't just clarified, they were tightened specifically to cut McLaren's wings. And from where they're standing, the evidence speaks louder than any press statement. It's worth emphasizing that amid all the speculation and conspiracy theories, the FIA has never officially accused McLaren of any wrongdoing. In fact, the MCL39 has passed every inspection so far in the 2025 season without a single breach flagged. The governing body continues to insist that its directives are rooted in fairness, transparency, and equal treatment for all teams. Still, the consequences of their latest rulings are difficult to ignore. Whether or not McLaren were directly impacted, the team's sudden drop in performance has undeniably stirred the pot and injected a new dose of intrigue into an already electrifying championship fight. With Ferrari and Mercedes rapidly closing the gap to the front, any hint of technical rebalancing has the potential to reshape the title battle completely. The real question now isn't just whether McLaren lost their edge, but whether the FIA is simply doing its job or subtly shifting the competitive balance. It's a question that has haunted Formula One before, and it will almost certainly do so again. All eyes now shift to the upcoming Monaco Grand Prix, a race where chaos and opportunity coexist in every corner. The unforgiving streets of Monte Carlo, with their tight hairpins and demand for mechanical grip over outright aero performance, could be the perfect proving ground for McLaren's narrative. A strong rebound here would support their assertion that Imola was merely a setup misfire or track-specific anomaly. But if the struggles continue, suspicions will only grow louder, and the whispers of FIA intervention will start to echo as something more substantial. All eyes now shift to the jewel in Formula One's crown, the Monaco Grand Prix, where chaos and opportunity don't just coexist, they battle for dominance in every metre of the circuit. With its iconic harbour views, razor-thin margins for error, and a layout that punishes the smallest misjudgment, Monte Carlo offers a completely different kind of challenge from the high-speed sweepers of Imola. Here, it's not about raw aero efficiency or straight-line speed. It's about mechanical grip, driver confidence, and razor-sharp precision through the tightest corners in F1. Monaco offers McLaren the perfect stage to prove Imola was just a blip. A strong result could quiet the noise around FIA directives. But another underwhelming weekend, and those whispers of regulatory impact will grow harder to ignore. Meanwhile, the FIA has chosen to remain tight-lipped, refusing to fan the flames of media speculation. Their role is to uphold the sport's integrity, not to publicly justify every line in a technical directive. Yet in a paddock where innovation is currency and every millisecond counts, even the most nuanced rule tweak can cause tremors. With teams locked in an endless chess match of development and legality, the Imola directives may well become one of the most pivotal moments of the 2025 campaign. Was this a broader tightening of the rules, or a precise strike aimed at neutralizing a specific advantage? The answer remains buried under layers of interpretation. What's undeniable, though, is that every team, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and beyond, will now proceed with heightened caution, walking the razor's edge between brilliance and breach. But in Formula One, perception often writes the first draft of history. Do you think McLaren's drop in performance was just bad luck at Imola, or did the FIA's new rules expose something deeper? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.